We're happy to have Dave Short, who is the Senior Vice President for Marketing, Sales, and Strategic Planning for Reynolds Lake Oconee, to back and report. Dave, welcome in.
Hey, Fred, good to see you again. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I wish I was down at Reynolds Lake Oconee playing a little golf.
Oh, all things in time. We'll have you and Pat back before you know it.
That sounds really good. Hey, Dave, we want to thank you for coming on. Our listeners are going to be able to see one of the finest golf courses in the country when the Great Waters course at Reynolds Lake Oconee is going to host the best women golfers in the world for the LPGA's Drive-On Championship at Reynolds Lake Oconee, October 22nd through 25th. How did this event come about? It's kind of a fill-in event. Couldn't have some of the ones over in Asia, so the LPGA got with you guys, and you're having them in.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited, Fred. You know, Mike Wan, who's the commissioner, has a home here in Reynolds, and whenever he's not working or traveling the road, you know, he's here at Reynolds playing golf and enjoying the company of our other 4,000 members. So when they had to cancel the Asia swing, we started talking to Mike probably 4 or 5 weeks ago and said, hey, gee, what if? You know, what if? And so we did some quick mechanics and found out we had the space, knew we had the golf campus, but really needed to have space for, you know, all the players and safely, you know, working their way through where they're going to stay. And just a weird time, but for us and for Mike and for the LPGA, really an opportunistic and a huge win. And the field is shaping up great right now. I got to look at it yesterday, and just an extraordinary field. And we'll have a full 4-day event over at Great Waters. And as you know, which we just reopened last year after complete restoration that Mr. Nicholas and his team did, which was just a wonderful afternoon, you know, having him back and all the work that's been done. He's tickled that they're going to kind of christen the course after just opening again. And we couldn't be happier. We're just delighted. It's a short fuse, but we can handle that. And so we're really tickled to have them.
Yeah, you guys are pretty much ready. You're in tournament condition pretty much every day. Couple things. First, you mentioned your 4,000 members. Now, you got 5 or 6 courses there, but still, it puts a little demand on your members. They got to give up their course for about 10 days when the tour comes in like that. So no problems with all of that.
No, in fact, and it didn't take us 48 hours before we had almost 100 members sign up to volunteer. You know, we've got a really rich history of putting on big events like this. As you know, we had the Anderson Consulting Championships here many years ago. We had the big break here. We have the Linger Longer Invitational where, you know, Ricky Fowler has played and won it. Brooks Koepka, Justin Thomas. That's a huge collegiate event. We got a 5-year history with the AJGA and doing one of their big events here. And our members, they step right up and they never fail to do that. And they stepped up here immediately on this one. You know, we've got 6.5 golf courses here for the members to play. This is a minor interruption in one course for 1 week. And I haven't heard a peep out of anybody other than how excited they are to have the girls come and play here.
The Great Waters course, as you mentioned, was completely restored, about an 18-month restoration there by Jack Nicklaus, who originally designed the golf course. It's recognized as one of the really great golf courses in the country. And this really gives you a great opportunity to kind of showcase that to the nation with having the LPGA there.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, the course has a long history. You know, it's 27 years old and is brand new again as of this past year, and we completed the renovation. But just an extraordinary course. As you know, 8 of the holes in the back 9 run right along the lakefront. Not many developers would ever see that kind of ground, you know, to a golf course these days. And long ago, that decision was made, and it's just spectacular. And a few holes in the front 9 on the lakefront too. So we're delighted to show it off. We'll have great aerial coverage, you know, for the whole event, and we're just tickled. And perfect time of year. I mean, you know, we're of course the Masters is right up the road from us here in a few more weeks too, and it couldn't be more beautiful right now. Leaves are starting to give you a little color, catch a little whiff of the wood smoke riding on the breeze early in the year, and it just we're excited.
Dave, we would be remiss if we're talking about Reynolds Lake Oconee. Golf is really just one of the pieces there. You have a tremendous all-inclusive lifestyle there, from all the water activities to shooting to spas. You got a Ritz-Carlton on property. You got dining that's out of this world. You pretty much got it all going on there.
Yeah, we do. I appreciate you bringing that up. You know, I'm actually standing in the Sandy Creek barn right now, which is a barn we had purchased about 10 years ago, built in 1820. And we've had Amy Grant and Hall and Oates and Collective Soul. And we've had all kinds of musical events here in the amphitheater out by the waterfront. The Ritz-Carlton, of course, there's only 97 of those in the whole world. And to have one of them right in the center of your club, that's a nice badge of honor, as well as a pretty nice little social nucleus for everybody. So 10 restaurants, 4 marinas, but mainly I think, you know, the golf has been the backbone amenity for many years, but in the last few years, we've seen a lot more people moving here at a much younger age and bringing their families with them, and home offices now being set up, and people that maybe wouldn't have made the move for 5 or 6 more years have made it in the last several months. And we've got over 1,600 kids under the age of 23 that are attached to our 4,000 members. So the vibrancy and the cadence of living here in the last several years has gotten a lot more active, I would say, because of a few tweaks to the membership to broaden out who can use that, you know, kids, grandkids, grandparents. And it's really brought a lot of activity to us. Music and food. And that's been a big part of the last, well, you know, I mean, you've been here. So, but yeah, we'll still do 135,000 rounds of golf this year, but there's a heck of a lot going on beyond the boundaries of the golf course, much more so than we ever saw 10 years ago.
Just for maybe some of the viewers that don't know, Reynolds Lake Oconee sits right between Augusta, Georgia, and Atlanta, right off of I-20. It's very easy to get to. You can fly into Atlanta, be out there at the property within probably about an hour. Then you just kick back, and as soon as you pull in the gates there, that vibe hits you, and all the tension goes. It's just a great place to be. And one more thing I want to touch base on. You know, we talked about you've got residents there. You've got lots available. You got houses available. You got a whole real estate section going on there, right? And one other thing you mentioned to me last October, you got a bunch of coastline that's undeveloped that you're in planning right now. What you're going to do with that?
Yeah, the lake has 4 times the shoreline as Georgia's Atlantic coastline. So we've got about 400 miles. And the point about Atlanta is a really important one. You know, since March 1st of this year, we've had 400 purchases of real estate, 400 new members from 24 different states, which to me is the really interesting part about that. And a large part of that is because the Hartsfield Airport, which sits on the southeast side of Atlanta, which makes it easy for us, that's really one flight from anywhere in the world. And so for people that are moving here that don't want to be completely out of reach, I mean, their kids can get here, or they can get to their kids in one flight. That's a big deal, you know, and that really helps us. To your point, we have 26 miles of undeveloped shoreline that the good folks at MetLife and Daniel are letting us go out and envision what's the next big thing. We've got a lot of exciting stuff going on. And as you said, you know, having the hotel in the center, as our members say, you know, we're 40 minutes from a Walmart, but we're only 5 minutes from a Ritz-Carlton. And I wish I could claim that in the marketing department, but that really came from our members, and that's out of the mouths of the members.
I want to mention one more thing too. These COVID times, it's been a trying year for sure. But here from like Ohio or Michigan, it's pretty easy drive down there. We don't have to jump in a plane. We can drive down there. I think from Toledo, I think I can be at your front door in about 10.5 hours. You know, from Michigan, it's maybe just a little bit longer. From Southern Ohio, you can take 3 hours off of that. So, you know, from Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, it's a pretty easy drive. And if you're looking to get away someplace, you should be considering Reynolds Lake Oconee for sure.
Yeah, and most of those places you mentioned, you know, from there to here is downhill all the way, you know, so that makes it even quicker. And well, we got people from everywhere, which is great. It creates diversity in the lifestyle here, and it's just a pretty cool place. And so I hope you guys can plan another trip and come back soon.
We're going to do that, David. One more thing, we just want to remind everybody that it's a drive-on, the LPGA Drive-On Championship, October 22nd through the 25th at the Great Waters Course at Reynolds Lake Oconee. Anything else you want to leave our viewers with, David?
No, just tune in, watch it. You know, we're going to have you're going to see a spectacular golf course, and we're going to make sure that we turn the plane in a couple of different directions so that you can see some of the other features and just the beauty of the lake and the beauty of the community. And we're excited about it. We're always proud to show it off.
Thanks a lot, David. Really appreciate it.
Brett, thank you. Tell Pat hello and have a great weekend, okay?